Hello everyone, Mireya here from Pink Pewter and welcome to our Biz Talk. Today I have a very special person that I love with all my heart. I met this person about 2 years ago and I met him through social media. I met him when he probably had about 300 to 400 followers, and now to see him blossom to levels that I could only dream about. I have him on here, and he is an amazing person that I want you all to meet. Antonio Estrada, come on here, baby.
Hey guys, I love you too, Mireya. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. My name is Antonio. I am a stylist in Arizona. This is my 7th year being behind the chair, and I'm obsessed. I've also been able to build a little following online based on hard work, hustle, and perseverance, and with the help of many big corporations like Mireya. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to kind of give you guys some tips, some tricks, anything that I could do to help, I'm here for.
Okay, so you see this beautiful soul in front of me, right? He does not have a little following. He has a huge following. And when I tell you a huge following, he has blossomed to levels that people will dream about. And why I like Antonio so much, and why not I see him like my son actually. I love him because he has stayed grounded throughout his journey of success. And it's really, really important to stay grounded, from when you're down here to up here, because money changes a lot of people's minds. You become a celebrity, you become an influencer, your mind starts changing, and you start being a different person. I've seen it through a lot of movie stars and a lot of artists, and Antonio is as real as it gets. He will help you in anything that you need. He is an amazing braider. He is an amazing artist. He is an amazing colorist. He's an amazing everything. But what he is known for is through his art of design and hair. And I have him on here because in these tough times, I want artists and business owners to come out and help in any way possible. And I have Antonio because he creates a lot of digital content. And digital content is something very important now for a lot of stylists and salon owners. So I have him on here, and I really would love for you to share some tips and ideas, and what are you going through also in these hard times?
Yeah, so for me, let me start by saying that, the way that my Instagram story kind of happened is I went through an assistant program. That was about 14 months. And then after that, I became a stylist. So at that point, I had no Instagram account. Okay. I was just really focusing on building a clientele, making some money. At that point, I was just really living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure things out, trying to save as much as I could. After 2 years of my being behind the chair, I built a clientele. I was making some income. I was able to make some moves in investments and stuff like that, invest in myself. And at that point, I started to feel a little burnt out behind the chair. I started to feel like, yes, it's fun, and yes, it's my passion, but doing it every day seemed to be overwhelming at times. So that's when I decided to start my Instagram. So that's how it all happened. And I'm very pleased that I waited like I did it that way, because like I said, I had some money to invest in myself as far as, taking opportunities, paying for my flight to New York, or, Modern Salon asked me to be out in New York with them, and they were only going to pay for, my hotel. So because I was, smart and saved, I was able to invest in that opportunity, which made my Instagram grow a lot faster. I will say that, online marketing is like really big for anyone's company right now. And I think you're foolish if you don't take advantage of that. It is free. I always kind of look at it as, we're able to, reach out to people and get people's attention from from our home. We don't have to go to parties. We don't have to go out there and kind of see everyone. You could just kind of reach out through the phone. So that's why I love it. I was able to book jobs and contracts with people that I've never met just based on email. So that's really cool. As far as making like digital content, I feel like that's the biggest thing with social media, right? You have to have that content to post. So I think it's very important to find what you love and what you want to be known for, and find a way to capture that beautifully and figure out a way that stands out, and just keep doing that. For me, I work full time. I work full time behind the chair, so about 40 hours a week. So that does not leave a lot of time for me to produce content during those times. So what I do is 2 Sundays a month, I pay a model to come in, and I just create content on those days. So at this point in my Instagram career, I have a couple contracts where I'm contracted to produce a certain amount of content. So on those Sundays, what I do is I make sure to get all that stuff done, so it's just done, and I could edit after that. So that's what would my be advice is, just like pick one day, figure out one day to kind of just get all that stuff done. It's a little different for styling and colorists, because colorists have to, do a whole color application to kind of get that content, but it still could be done in one day. Luckily for us stylists, all my stylist friends who are known for styling out there, we are very lucky because we're able to do a style, take a picture, take it down, do another style, take a picture, take it down. So just depends on what realm of an Instagram that you're in.
That's awesome. So see, guys, I have him on here. He's amazing. I have a question for you. So you're a stylist, right? And you create all this content for your social media page. And by the way, guys, he is also an ambassador for Salon Centric and for Sexy Hair. And I think behind the chair too, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So he's an ambassador for all those things. And he teaches a lot of artists how to create beautiful pages, right, through his work. Now, I have a question for you, because I've heard from like salon owners that they have a little harder time creating content because it's a business in whole. Do you have any recommendations on how a salon can create content and make it seem like it's a business also?
Yeah. So like you said, I'm part of the Salon Centric Ambassador team. I'm part of the visionary team for Sexy Hair and Behind the Chair. Very lucky to do all those things. And whenever I was starting my Instagram page, I at first wanted just to get clients. That was my goal. I wanted to get more clients in my chair, resulting in more money so I could invest, whatever I wanted to do. So that's what I did at first, and then it turned into what it turned into because I've always had a passion for styling hair. So the way that I look at it is, it just depends. For a salon, I don't think a salon necessarily needs a big following, right? They don't need to have a lot of followers because they're really just looking to bring clients in. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is, for salons, you're actually really lucky because you have a lot of stylists that you could pull contact from, So in my salon, there's at least 10 of us that are posting all the time. So my salon just has content for days. They just have so much content. So what I would say for salons is just make sure that your page looks beautiful and you're producing the work that you want to do in the salon. So if you are not good at really precision cuts, don't really post that. We don't want people to come in for something that we're not educated in. Also, to make sure that your page looks beautiful for if someone does hear about your salon, and says the majority of people now, when I hear of any business that I want to go to, I look at their Instagram, I look at their social, and I kind of check that out first to see if it's something that I even want to go to. So just making sure that page looks beautiful. So if someone gets a written or a verbal referral, and when they go to your page, they'll be excited and they'll book. So I'd say just making sure that you post a lot, you comment back and be social. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Being social. Absolutely. If you get any DMs, make sure you're reaching out. And I think that's what will speak volumes and make it seem more of like a business, by just you being able to communicate and being consistent.
Yeah, that's very important because the new future is having like a digital salon. That's awesome. So I know you're not working right now, and it's hard times. Everyone's not working. What are you doing, or what are you planning, to change for your future? I mean, have you ever been through a situation this bad before?
No, this is actually the very first time that I feel like a lot of us have been through something like this. It is very scary, and I feel for all the people that maybe didn't plan for something like this. My heart goes out to them. Luckily, I was able to, have some, emergency funds. So I'm not stressed out too much, but I mean, it can't go on forever, as you know. So in these times, what I'm doing is I'm really trying to focus on taking care of myself, staying home, not trying to, get too anxious or nervous about what I'm hearing on the news. I'm also trying to like just, um, get better at some skills that I feel like I need improvement on. I've never really liked precision cutting, like, baby bangs and like all these really geometrical haircuts. That's never really been my forte. And I'm always anxious that when I get a new client, they're going to want something like that. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the time to watch more videos, kind of just see if maybe something will click or some tips and tricks. I'm also fortunate enough, like I said, on Sundays, I do my model and I create a lot of looks. So I'm sitting on a lot of content, which feels very good because there have been times I don't have nothing to post, so I'm just editing those photos, making new videos, trying to look at my page and see if I could revisit some of these old photos and videos in a different way, and try to post some old stuff. Also, right now, the Behind the Chair One Shot Awards entries are happening. So this is a really good time to make sure you're in those guidelines and kind of look back in your page and post some of the old stuff. I also like to look at it, if you're growing on Instagram quickly, so say you grow, 20,000 followers in 4 months, 3 months, really good. In those 3 months, those people never saw any of this old stuff, So sometimes look at your page and see, wow, this video did really well. Let's throw it back up there and see, so these other people can see it. I've had a couple videos reach over 1 million views, which is so exciting. So in my mind, I just kind of, anytime that I'm thinking like maybe I need to change directions or maybe my content's not doing well, I kind of re-look at those videos and think, no, I'm good. Like I just got to stick to what I'm doing, stick to, my original game plan and just kind of keep pushing.
I love it. See, focus, and focus. Are you looking at any business classes? A lot of stylists are really not thinking outside the box and thinking about maybe one day you'll open up a salon, or maybe one day you need to know, how to do your finances, because a lot of stylists are having a lot of struggles right now, especially with how hard everything is. I mean, are you getting any classes on business right now?
I think I should be doing more, honestly. I'm not, but I'm very lucky to be engaged to my fiance, who is very smart in business, and he works for a multimillionaire company. So he is able to give a lot of advice. I work for a really successful salon, which I've been able to pick their brains and kind of be in the office when some tough decisions are being made or some really big conversations are being held. So I've learned a lot from that. I also work with an accountant who kind of guides me and directs me into all these things. So I feel like I've done enough for now, but I could always learn more. I mean, there's always more things to do. I feel like for me, the big goal right now is to, maybe next year I'm going to invest in some real estate. That's where my mind kind of is, and kind of thinking maybe I'll buy another house and kind of rent it out, do something like that. I want to be able to use the money that I have to make more money in the future. The goal for me, I think that's everyone's goal, right? It's like not just my goal. Everyone's goal is to not, as you get older, as you age, you don't want to work as hard. So whatever you can do now to try to prep for that, that's where my mind's at. And that's what I'm thinking. As far as opening a salon, I don't know if that's my route. I don't really think, like I said before, I've been able to step into some really tough conversations and be in the room with, the managers of the salon, and they do it incredibly, and it's their passion. They love it and they're very successful at it. I just don't think that I'd want that kind of responsibility and that kind of dealing with everyone's crap.
I get it.
It's a lot.
I used to work, okay, my mom's a stylist, right? I used to work with my mom, but I also worked at a very large salon, and I would just sit down and I would listen to the owner, and he would complain like every day because the stylist just changed their mind like they changed their underwear, and he was like, I can't take it. I can't, all those decisions. And, I don't know. It's hard to be a leader in, when you own a salon. It's not hard. It's not that hard, but it's definitely a lot more dramatic when you have to deal with 20 hairdressers or 30 hairdressers all at one time. But I get it. You know, I was on the phone earlier with a girl that she is in her, I'm going to say maybe her late 20s or early 30s. And she is having a really, really hard time with what's going on right now. And as you said, you have not gone through anything like this. And a lot of people around your age have not. And, you know, I was just hearing, you know, her desperation through the phone, and I felt really worried for her. And I told her, I said, I got to tell you one thing. I said, you're really stressed out because of the money. And she said, yes. She's like, it's hard for me to pay the bills right now. I said, I'm going to tell you a little story. And she was like, okay. She's like, I don't think you're going to change my mind. And I told her, I'm going to tell you something. I said, I've been through several situations, you know, in my past. And this is not that bad. It's not that bad, meaning with the money. If you're worried about your health, different story. That is number one priority right now. But if you're worried about the money, I said, you're actually very lucky. I said, a couple years ago, I got put in a very bad situation where I almost went bankrupt. And I had to let go of a lot of my employees, and I had to let go of a lot of things that meant the world for me. You know, I worked really hard to create my brand, and, you know, losing it was very scary. And I told her I went into a depression, like a really bad depression, but I pulled myself out of it because right now it's really important to keep that mind really strong. And I said, I pulled myself out of it and I made really hard decisions. And the decisions that I did was, one, obviously I had to let go of people that I loved. I had to, you know, say goodbye to my warehouse. I had to say goodbye to my car. I had to say goodbye to a lot of things in order for me to rebuild my brand again. And it took years. I'm not going to lie to you. It took years to go back to where I was. And I ate a lot of beans and a lot of pasta, but I got myself and I struggled, you know, to get back to where I'm at. And I didn't give up. Okay. I didn't give up, and I didn't let anything cross my path, especially with my mind. And I said, I had my health. My husband had his health. My daughter was healthy, and they were fed. I got my brand back to where it was. And it's a lot stronger than it was before because I didn't give up. She sat there and she goes, all right, Mireya, I get it. I'm complaining about money where I could call my car payment and say, you know, hold up, I can't afford it. I could call my mortgage right now and say, hey, the world is in a crisis. I'm going to hold up again. And I'm complaining about money, but I have my health. And I said, yeah, you have your health. You're fine. I go, I wish that when I failed with my business problem I had in the past, I wish I had all of these opportunities, like grants that the government is giving. I wished I had the bank. I went several times to the bank to see if they could give me money. I even talked to several investors and said, you know what, I have a really strong brand. I just need some help. And they said no to me. They said no to me. Now they're probably eating their words and said, what the heck? Why didn't I invest in it? But definitely, you know, if you're complaining about money in these times where the government is going to give you all this cash, you just have to ask for it. It's going to come. Go live with your mom, call your bills, and shape up and eat some beans. Who cares? You got life. She was like this. You're right. You're right. Never did I think that my stories of my past would help people now. And that is why I'm creating these videos, because a lot of people have not gone through this. And especially in your age, people don't realize what failing is. Everything has been given, not given, because you guys all work really hard, but everything has been very, not easy, but not with this kind of a problem where people don't understand, right? And can control. Everything was controllable before. And I have these incidents in my past that are helping a lot of people now. And I'm like, all right, God has a path for me, and I guess I have to follow it, right?
Yeah.
So this girl is very happy. She got out of her little depression that she had, and she's been emailing me all of this beautiful artwork because she is so creative, and she is headstrong now, and nothing's going to stop her, and nothing's going to stop a lot of people now. So I have Antonio here, and I want him, do you have any words of wisdom, that you could give, people that are in your age group, because they haven't gone through this? Do you have any words of wisdom that you could just encourage them and to keep focus or something?
Yeah, well, so especially if they're stylists or in any industry, really, it's, what I've learned from the 7 years that I've been behind the chair is if you're good at your craft, money will come. So don't try to get money right away. Don't try to make these ticket prices so ridiculous. Don't try to fit so many people in when your skill set is not there, because they're not going to come back. So that's one thing that I did was I really trained and really, really took a lot of time, 14 months, to really make sure I was good enough to even start charging clients, So really focus on your craft. Also, like you're saying, you have to have that hustle mode all the way up. You cannot just sit back and wait for things to happen. I always say this everywhere I go. I do not think I'm the best hairstylist. I look up to other hairstylists where I think their work is amazing. When I put ours side by side, I'm like, oh my God, I need so much work to do. I have so much work to do because look how beautiful this is, and look at my stuff. But I am a good hustler. I'm motivated. I'm passionate. I am not scared to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I tend to always say yes. And that's what I think my success has come from. It's not from my skill, even though I do believe I do have some unique skill that is not out there. So I do have like a little one up on some people, because I do have a different kind of creative mind than most. But my hustle is what really got me where I am at now. A lot of these contracts that I've signed, they weren't asking me to be a part of their team. I was asking them, can I be a part of your team? I want to work with you guys. I want to do this. What do I got to do? It's like, okay, we need you to be in Chicago. I'll be there. We need you to be here. I'll be there. And then after these several times where they see that I'm, going, investing, and then also performing and excelling, then I get signed. So a lot of people think that we just kind of get these contracts thrown at us, but we're working, and, a lot of times I've had people, just kind of question why I'm getting certain things, or question why me or why not them, and instead of me, people that work with certain companies who have been trying to climb that ladder, but then I come in and I kind of get those positions. And, it is sad and it's horrible. And, I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes, but it's because I work really hard. That's why. You can't downplay, all the work that I've done. I work full-time behind the chair and 50 plus hours on my phone a week. So that's why I'm getting these positions.
Can I say something? The
Yeah.
reason you get what you get is because you have a star right on your head, okay? And when I say that star, you were born with that star, okay? One, he's really, really talented. He is. Two, he works really, really hard. Yes, he does. But he doesn't do it for the money. And when you don't do it for the money and you do it for your passion, look at how far he's gone. See that? When the minute, every boss that you have, the minute they meet somebody, I could smell people that are opportunists like this. I could smell people that are trying to take advantage of me in 2 seconds. And he's not that person. He is a hard worker. He's a hustler, and he does it for the passion. And when you do it for the passion, money comes. And money comes in volumes that you never, ever imagine. I made a headband popular. Who the fuck does a headband? Okay? I did it because I loved it and I had passion for it, and I did not stop believing in what I wanted to create. Okay? And that is why you have what you have because you're humble, you're real, you're authentic, and you help other people with your heart. I want to say thank you, Antonio, for being on here today. I love you with all my heart. I hope that this conversation helps a lot of you watching right now. I hope that, you know, we will all get out of this together. Just stay strong, strong, healthy, and focused. I love you, Antonio. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.